Hey, my true seekers, how are you guys doing? Look, I can't believe that I'm coming on this late because it's on my end. It's about 7:30, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my life. But yeah, I usually don't come on this late. To me, this is considered as late. I be on around, maybe about 5 or 6, but anything over that, that's it. But yeah, I have something that I want to go ahead and talk about, guys. Um, this is the reason why I went ahead and came on. But let me go ahead and read my copyright disclaimer. It says under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute and might otherwise be infringing. So, guys, as you can see right here by the title, I saw something that was on IG. I wanted to go ahead and talk about it. I saw, some young men getting together, a whole bunch of them. I think it was in London, if I'm not mistaken. That's where they are from. But they talking about all the stuff that is going on, around the world. Been what's going on when it comes to, all this racism and all the stuff that is happening when it comes to the community, when it comes to our people. But the question, that I went ahead and put on, and as you can see by the title, it says an unlearned generation is like sheep for the slaughterhouse. And for those that, not familiar of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, how this young generation, which I truly believe that they are the ones that's going to run with the ball. They are the ones that's going to rise up. But the thing about it is that they are unlearned. They are like sheep for the slaughter. And let me go ahead and play a little bit of it, guys, and then I'm gonna go ahead and break it down because I felt the need to talk about it because I've been talking about it since a long time. This right here, this is it. This generation has had enough. But the thing about it is that they are unlearned. So let me let you hear a little bit, and then we can go ahead and break it down. Okay.
Their hair on their head is touched. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the warning. If any more of our little brothers are even a hair on their head is touched, yeah, I'm telling you, you're gonna see more than 100 bites. You're gonna see more than 1,000 people, yeah, because we're not having our little brothers brutalized like this. It's bad enough that we're fighting each other and killing each other in the streets. That's bad enough. Us burying each other because we're killing each other because of the racist system, how they put us in poverty places and they pitch us against each other, that's bad enough. Yeah? So to have racist people be murdering our brothers on these roads, but we're not gonna have it.
So let me go ahead and talk about this right here. As you can hear, I don't know if you guys can hear, but I saw this right here on IG. I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and pin it where you guys could, hear it much clearer. But as you can see, this young fella, they all coming together. They had had enough. Seeing how their community, people, the power, that be coming in and unaliving their people. And also, they talked about how, we know that it got a lot, when it comes to, black against black, but they're talking about, people, especially that's supposed to protect and serve coming into their community and they have had enough, which we understand all this right here. But the thing about it, guys, is that what I call them is like sheep without a leader. And all they are doing is sending themselves to the slaughterhouse. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying, because they don't have a solution. And the solution, nobody wants to hear. Everybody wants to come on social media, wants to, come on and try to, get everybody all riled up. But that's not the solution. And we already know how that plays out. You putting all your business, if you have a plan, if you have a solution, social media should be the last place. Social media should be the last place that we sit there and we come out and we talk. But The thing about it is that no one wants to put in the work. Yes, it is a solution. And the solution is not because, like I said, I say it all the time, people that comes on my platform, they knows exactly what I'm talking about. Chicken tongue will say anything. The mouth will say anything. But what about, soon in a minute when the heat start getting hot, you, most of our people, we going to run. It never failed. It never failed. So that solution is not going to work. We try to gather everybody to come together, but like I said, it never worked. And if it never worked then, it would never work now. And that's why we keep going into this wilderness, what I call it, around and round and round. We keep going into this same situation. I know the Most High God, He hear your cry. He knows exactly what's going on. We know exactly what's going on because we see it. Like I say, this right here is what I call the year of exposure. Nothing is going to be uncovered. We see exactly what's going on. But the thing about it that people don't want to take heed to exactly how to get us out. The only way that we can get out of all this right here, what we in, is not coming on social media, but to start sitting there putting your money where your mouth is. If you know that these people does not have your best interest, stop supporting these people. That's the solution. But nobody wants to do that. We wants to get all upset. We wants to get all mad. We want to gather people. But the minute when someone said, look, leave these people stuff alone and come out of her, then nobody wants to hear it. That's the only way that it's going to work. It's not going to work by you sitting there trying to fight your way through it. These people are back behind a military. Why you think that we saw an article of the neo-Nazis are raising up teenagers for a race war? They got people backing them up, but nobody is backing you up. Your own people is not going to back you up. The minute when the heat hit the firing pain or things start breaking out, they're going to run. So the only way that you guys can be able to come out of this right here is to leave these people stuff alone. Stop supporting them. Start supporting your own. Start spending in your own community. Start building up your own stores, your banks and your libraries, and start helping each other. That's the only way. I promise you, if we start sitting there putting money into our own community, I promise you, just like I tell you guys all the time, all that stuff right there, it's going to collapse. It's going to fall. You stay home one day, I promise you it will collapse because it's all about power. Until you stop sitting there wanting the latest tennis shoes, the latest gadget, stop supporting all this stuff, I promise you, you're gonna see a big difference. But long as we continue sitting there pouring into that system going what's going to happen? It's just going to be more powerful than what it already is. So let me go ahead and let you hear just a little bit more.
Facts. Yeah, and I'll die on that. And there's 1,000 man in Brum that will die on that. And 1,000 man in London.
And I understand him. I hear his pain, and he even got people behind him, backing him up. But I promise you, when the heat hit the fan, they all going to run. They all going to scatter. Nothing is new under the sun. I mean, we had very brave, intelligent people. They'll, side the ways. This is not going to work, guys. This is not going to work. The only way that is going to work is when we come together. That's the only way. That's the only way. And that's what I call unity. Unity is when we come together and we start supporting each other. That's the secret right there. That's the solution, but nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. Why you think, you see people coming, especially people that don't even, wasn't even raised, not even citizens, coming into the United States, and a year or maybe two, they got their own businesses because these people live beyond their means. They not out there sitting there splurging. They can stay in one house, 20 people, Mexicans, they could stay in one house. It could be about 20 or 30 people in one house. And soon in a minute, when one family, feel like they can go ahead and get their house, then maybe they might grab a few more in. And but sooner or later, they owning the entire block. But we won't do stuff like that. We are consumers, and that's why they can continue keeping their foot on our neck, because they know that we are the biggest consumers. We got to have the latest gadget. Until we leave these people stuff alone, then you're going to be able to see a big difference. But nobody is ready for that solution. Nobody's ready for that solution, guys. And I'm not going to be here long at all. I just wanted to go ahead and talk about it because when I saw these young fellers, they coming together, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this right here, this is in London. But when I saw, they all coming together and they all upset behind, all the stuff that they are facing when it's in their community. And it's like they helpless. We felt like that when things, happen in our community, we feel helpless. But once, we get over that home, what we do? We go back and we do the same thing. It's like a dog going back into his own vomit. Nobody wants a solution. Nobody wants to come out. We got these jokers, coming into our community, our own people, sellouts, when it's time to voting, and they telling us what they going to do. But once you get these people in the seat, they don't even recognize you anymore. But like I said, the only way that you can be able to come together and you can be able to sit there and not only talk the talk but do the walking is that you got to sit there and start supporting your own community. You got to leave these people's stuff alone. That's the only way. And nobody wants to do it because, like I say, we wants to live like the Joneses, but inside living like the Waltons. Okay, so let's go ahead and play a little bit more.
And 1,000 man in Manchester and 1,000 man in Nottingham. More lions. You better know what time it is. So this is the message we're putting out there. Yeah, this is the message we're putting out there. Touch one, touch all. Touch one, touch all. Touch one, touch all.
And what he was saying, you touch one, you touch all. But like I said, cheek and tongue will say anything. It's time for us to sit there and we done talk the talk, and these people don't even take us serious anymore. They don't take us serious because they know who backing them up. But they know when it comes to us, like I said, soon in a minute, they know exactly how to sit there and dismantle that. And we give in. We had great people, great leaders. But it always happened, our own people, Judases, always happen from the inside out to tear down the entire thing. So, like I said, I would love to sit there and see this, and I know I'm going to see this. I know I'm going to see our people sit there and be the head and not the tail. I know that's going to happen. But it takes work. It takes discipline. It takes renewing of the mind because it's not going to take, us being in our feelings, because being in your feelings is not going to cut it. It's going to take a renewing of our mind, a transform. We got to sit there and we got to transform it. That's the only way. We can't have the same mindset into where we wants to go until we change that stinking mindset. So, guys, let me know what your thoughts about it. I just felt led to come on and talk about it. I'm not going to be here long, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about it. Let me see if I can read just a little few comments because of what people are saying. But this right here, this is it, guys. But the only way that it can come together, and yes, I truly believe this younger generation, they're going to be able to pull us out, because they, they're ready, they're on fire. The older generation, most of them, they already have sold out. But the younger generation, they have to be able to be taught, and they have to be able to be disciplined, not on their emotions. But someone has said emotional children blaming others for their poor life choices. And it's the power that be that's saying that. But this generation has had enough. We know who we are. We know exactly who we are, and they know who we are. But like I said, it is all about power, principality in high places. It's all got to do with power. So once you sit there and you figure out how to dismantle that, then you're gonna be able to sit there and see a big difference. Someone else says you sound they talking about someone else, so I'm not gonna read this right here. Yeah, let me go ahead and read this right here. It says you sound about as dumb as a bag full of doorknobs. Clearly something is going on, but there were racist whites in the area have been attacking the youth. So I guess something had happened in that community that got everybody, all fired up. But, like I said, we be fired up one day and maybe 2 days. And then after that, we go back, about our normal business. And it also says he clearly states that the violence carried out against each other is wrong and must stop. However, your days are numbered if you think you're going to keep victimizing us, and that's absolutely true. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They have had enough, but violence is not going to cut it. Some people they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it, but it's not going to work like that. It's going to work when you hit them in their pockets, and that's real talk. I see my girls in house. Starbucks lover, how are you doing, Star? You see, I'm here late, 7:48. I don't come on this time, but this right here, it really touched my heart, to see that, this young generation, it, they just they just sick and tired. They have had enough. But the thing about it is that, they're going about they're going about it the wrong way. The only way that we can do it, we got to go ahead and hit them in the pockets. That's the only way. And nobody wants to hear that part right there. And that's why we keep going round and round and round. Also, someone else says that so you're saying they're imagine it and they aren't being assaulted. He's talking about physical violence being carried out against them, not practicing law and policy. Also, another person says, no, it's not like it's realistic. There's long been needed. What you seen, I guess, so much stuff, forces that's coming in the community and all this other stuff that is happening. And this right here, this is happening right now in London. And another person say, be afraid it's time. You must reap what you sowed. There's a debt owed and it will be paid in full. And the only way that you can pay it in full and is, you have to sit there, you have to come up with a good solution. And the only solution that I say, we have to start supporting each other. We have to start building in our own community, build, things that's going to keep us, within our community. Like even if it's like I had talked about, I think it was the other day, trade schools, start building trade schools, and getting these young kids, whatever they interest in. If they interested in building and creating art or cooking, doing hair, start building those type of schools. And when you start building those type of schools, just like there's a quote, when you give a child or some fish, that child going to keep coming back. But when you teach that child how to fish, then he going to be able to feed, his own community. He's going to be able to feed himself where he will never hunger again. It goes something like that. But you have to teach him, teach him how to sit there and be business entrepreneurs. I mean, we like maybe about 1% in the United States of businesses, black businesses. That's very, very small, very small. But yet we are the biggest consumers. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Where's all that money coming from? If we can spend trillions of dollars a year and really don't have nothing to show for, nothing to show for. And like I said, they say, I'm not trying to be mean, but it's time to wake our people up, guys. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Where is all that money is going? And the thing about it is that they make all that with us in mind. All the stuff that you see, they make it with us in mind because they know we going to run after that. Leave all that stuff alone, and I promise you, you're going to see a big difference. If we just say, people that work for these big old corporate companies, just say if everybody just and I'm just saying, guys, just if one day stay home, one day stay home, I promise you, you're gonna see a big difference. But how are we gonna be able to stay home when we keep getting these people stuff and what we are doing, robbing Peter to pay Paul? And I'm talking to my people, and I know some of you guys may not want to hear this because you're not ready to come out of this. But this right here, this is real talk. Can't get no real than this. How long are you going to stay in bondage? How long are you going to continue sitting there, wondering, where your next meal coming from, or sitting there wondering how you're going to pay all these bills? Long as you sitting there, keep putting the money out. And the thing about it, they are planting people into your community. I call them kinkerworms, palmerworms, and locusts. Bringing them in to continue sitting there, cleaning you up dry. But why you don't have businesses in your community? Or you can ask yourself, why are they getting people from out of other countries, flying them and putting them in luxury hotels and then dumping them into your community? Why? All that's doing is just setting you back. But yet, when things, we trying to sit there and tear each other down, we're gonna help these people do the job. But like I said, do these people have your job, your best interest? No, not at all. Not at all. So all I'm just sitting there saying, guys, he that have an ear, let him hear. Because nobody wants to hear the truth. And when it comes to the truth is like a surgery. It hurts, but it heals. A lie is like a painkiller. I'm not here to tell you a lie. I'm here to stand on my truth. Maybe you might not like it, but it gives instant relief. People likes a lie. People likes a temporary fix. But it also have side effects that's going to last forever. So I'm here to stand on my truth, guys. We've been crying. We've been waiting. We've been asking how long. It starts with you. It starts with the man in the mirror. Like I said, we can blame Scotty, Dottie, and everybody. But what about you? It starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with that man in the mirror. And I know people don't like to hear this. Our people don't want to hear this, but we keep crying and we keep whining. And we just waiting for something, waiting for something to just pop out of the sky and give us the answer. No, it's not going to happen like that. Nothing is not going to pop out of the sky and give you the solution, give you the answer. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. When you wake up in the morning, you have a choice. And that's why I say choose this day. Choose this day. You keep going out there and you keep making dumb mistakes and keep wallowing in your mess. And you've been wondering, when are you going to come out of this? Well, the time is now, guys. This is it. You either have it or you're not. This right here is what I call the year of 2024. No more excuses. No more excuses, guys. It's time for us to shake off of these grave clothes and come out of her. but you got to do it right. You got to do it right. So many people, they out there, they going off of their emotions. Your emotions just going to put you in body bags. You can't sit there and think that you like one of these stories in the Bible, like David and Goliath, how David took 5 rocks and a slingshot and he knocked down giants. It doesn't work like that, guys. No more of these hocus pocus stories. And I got 5 more minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off. No more of these hocus pocus story. The only way that those giants going to fall, you got to stop pouring into that system. And I promise you, when you stop pouring into that system, those giants will fall because you are the lifeline to everything exists. Without you, nothing exists. And that's real talk, guys. Can't get no real than that. Can't get no real than that. I wonder if you guys see my background. Let me go ahead and show you guys my background. I have some it's sort of like a riddle. Okay, go on my community tab and you're gonna see what I went ahead and wrote. I don't have no makeup on or nothing, guys. But yeah, I want you guys to see. Can you see? Yeah, see my background. Go on my community tab. I put all the information that you guys need because something, I'm trying to do fun. Sometimes it takes imagery, it takes pictures to sit there and wake our people up, and if it takes that to wake our people up, then I don't mind making it fun, okay? Because that's exactly what's, got us in the boat from the start, okay? So sometimes it takes imagery, it takes pictures, to sit there and wake our people up. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. I see my girl, Starbucks, she said, please be respectful. Girl, when you start talking the truth, people don't want to hear the truth. You probably I'll be lucky if I get no more than 3 or 4. People don't want to hear the truth. Everybody, wants to hear a lie. But like I say, this is not why, and the reason why I set my platform. I set my platform on up so I can go ahead and speak the truth. And when it's the truth, you know how it is. People don't want to hear the truth. People would rather hear a lie. But the Most High God said, go ahead and tell it to them anyway. So, guys, I got 2 more minutes, and feel free. Let me know what your thoughts about this right here. Do you have a solution? My solution is to leave these people stuff alone. And that's the only way. We have to learn to be good stewards, especially when it comes to our money, because I believe that this right here is what I call end times. And it's going to be a time where you're going to wish that you wouldn't have been so, careless when it came to your money. It's going to be a time that you're going to need that. So all I can say right now is the best thing to do is just be careful, be good stewards how you spend your money. Don't go out there and buy all this unnecessary stuff, and especially when it comes to the beauty care. And I'm a cosmetologist, believe it or not. I am a cosmetologist. I've been a licensed cosmetologist for almost maybe about 35 years, still licensed. And when it comes to beauty products, especially when it comes to hair, that's like $1 billion industry. $1 billion industry. But the thing about it is not being poured into our community. They are in our community, selling it to us, but they not sitting there putting it back in our community. They not putting a dime in our community. They sending that money back to their own country. But yet we sitting there, we will pass black businesses to go and support these people that is not going to pour back in your community. Go and Google this. This is not something that I made up. These we spend billions, even might be trillions, just on beauty supplies, guys. Make it make sense. Just think about it. Think about it. What we could do with all that money in our community. Just think about it. I mean, like I said, this right here, this is it. We can't keep sugarcoating it. We got to tell it like it is. My girls Starbucks say they sure don't. No, they don't. And they not. Just like they got all these illegal migrants, crossing the border, pouring them into our community, giving these people vouchers, I think I had read $9,000 uh, dollars a month, to house these people, giving them food, and they even getting licensed. How can illegal migrants, how could they get licensed? Come on, guys. Yes, $9,000 a month to house these people, giving them vouchers. Each one getting $9,000, and that's right there in Chicago. $300 million are spent on illegal immigrants. Right there in Chicago alone, I think it's 28 million to get them shelter. Those $28 million can be poured into our community. But you guys don't want to hear this. I'm just talking to myself. But God say tell it to him anyway. Because I don't even come on this late. Never came on this late. Unless I have something that, I feel led that I want to go ahead and talk about, even if I have to talk about it by myself. You are absolutely right, Starbucks. Something is not adding up. Something is not adding up. But to us, it should be a wake up call. How can you get people that is not citizens or not, and not taxpayers to come in and reap the harvest? Something that you can't even get. You homeless kids don't even know where their next meal coming from, living under the bridge from the school to in their cars. But yet we got these illegal immigrants coming in, crossing the border, and taking jobs that could have been you, taking food that could have been on your table, taking houses that could have put a roof over your house. Make it make sense. And you wondering why these young kids are crying and rising up and mad and upset? That should make anybody upset to see that you are the last of the barrel of everything. And the only time that we see these jokers is when it's time to vote. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. And like I said, we can't just continue. And my girl teases me all the time. We can't continue sugarcoating it. We got to stand on our truth. They giving us all this stupid, foolish distraction, having us entertained, and we thinking that, everything is good. But what are you going home to? You going home to, barely living, barely making it, not even living, but just existing. Who wants to exist when everybody else sitting there living? And you wonder why this younger generation is not upset? But like I said, guys, it starts with you. You have the power. You have the key. It's up to you if you're going to shut your door and say enough is enough. Absolutely, Magic Mama. She said, I'm so confused, so sad for us. But we can blame Dottie Squatty. We can blame everybody. But it starts with us. It starts with us. We got the power. We have the power. You might sit there and say, well, how? Because, like I said, when we come together, we are a force to be reckoned with, where even demons will tremble. And that's real talk. When we come together, I'm not sitting there coming together and go out there and march and say, we shall overcome. I'm not telling you that. Enough of that. What worked for our grandparents is not going to work for this generation right here. The only thing that's going to work with this generation right here is to hit them in their pockets. That's the only way. Stop going out there and spending with unnecessary stuff. You have the right who coming in your community that does not belongs there. You have the right. Start buying properties and stop buying shoes and hair weave and all this unnecessary stuff. Start buying property, guys. That's the only way. Life is just like this game we used to play, Monopoly. If you start adding up how much money that you spend on unnecessary stuff, add it up. All the money that you spend on unnecessary stuff. And in a year's time, I promise you, you most likely could have purchased a piece of property. Guys, you have to learn how to play the game. You have to learn how to play the game. What makes me so upset, especially when it's income tax time, when it's income tax time, I see all our little young girls and boys riding in nice cars, going into the hood. That really makes me upset, guys. Because I say, why do the bank can give you a loan for a $30,000 to $40,000 car, but it's not giving you a loan to get out of the hood? Make it make sense. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't want to hear this. Lord, I'm just talking to myself, but God say tell it to him anyway. Ask yourself why. Why would the banks give you money to purchase a car, but would not give you money to purchase a home? Make it make sense, guys. Visualize says, Mom used to tell me that play the game, but it's pride that prevent you from doing so. Absolutely. 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 I need you to email me, Visual Rise. Go ahead and email me. I got something for you because he the only one participating in my little game. I put like I say, this background. He's trying to sit there and get it right. But guys, is a message behind my background. Is a message. It's time for us to rise. It's time for us to wake up and come out of her because we already know when it comes to this state, this is a Confederate state. Confederate. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. But this is real. This is real talk. I just can't compromise, guys. I just got to tell you the truth. It's time for us to wake up. But we got to stop acting like children. Stop acting like you are still on the plantation and know who you are. Because when you know who you are, I promise you, no devil in hell can rise against you. No devil in hell can rise against you when you know who you are. Everybody sitting there saying, "Oh, wake up! We ready to wake up," but you're still sleepwalking. You still sleepwalking. You have eyes and you cannot see. You have ears and you cannot hear. You still sleepwalking. How are you going to say I am woke? In the minute when you get a dime, you go give it to master. You bring it back to the plantation. Make it make sense. A woke person going to sit there and start building for themselves. A woke person is not going to sit there and keep giving into this system. A woke person is not going to do that. And why you think they try to sit there and shut you up? They're going to shut you up. Because, like I said, it's all about power. It's all about almighty dollars. And when it comes to this right here, they only see green. This is has nothing to do with black nor white. It's all about power. But when we going to see it? When we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to leave these people's stuff alone and come out of her? Like I say, the kingdom of heaven suffer violence, and this right here, we got to take it by force. But how are we going to take it by force when we are embedded with our suppressors, when we should be sitting on the throne? We got the black man on his knees. We got the black man on his knees. And our women have sold out to what I call Babylon. Sold out, where we are embedded with everything that they do. When they tell us to do this, we're going to do that. But the time is now. It's it. This is it, guys. He doesn't have an ear. Let him hear. Let him hear. Thank you very much, Magic Mama. She said, "Thank you, Starbucks. Love, glad to be here. Thank you very, very much." And see, like I said, in here, I can't keep sitting there entertaining you guys with these reality shows, which I talk about these reality shows. These reality shows is just a distraction. These reality shows are just a distraction because they know that we love to be entertained. We love to be in front of the television. Don't you know black people spend most of their time in front of the television? They know us. They know exactly what makes us think. They know exactly what makes us move. Because long as they can keep us distracted, they can continue working overtime on us. They can continue working overtime on us. But aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? When are you going to say enough is enough? When are you going to say enough is enough? When I already had told you guys, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. It all belongs to us. All this right here you see, it belongs to us. Our culture is very, very rich. Very rich. But how long are you going to allow these worms, these palmer worms, and these locusts to continue sucking you up dry? How long? When are you going to put the black man back on his rightful throne? When are you going to wake up, black man, and leave these people alone? When are you going to? Wow. Guys, it can't get no real than this. It cannot get no real than this. But it's time for us to stop aborting our babies. And it's time for us to give birth. And I'm not talking about a natural birth. I'm talking about a spiritual birth. How long are you going to carry that baby inside of you? Sooner or later, that baby is going to be stillborn. It's time for us to it's time for us to give birth, guys. It's time for us to come out of what I call the place of Lodabar. It's time for us to come out. But the only way that we can come out is not by us sitting there picking up sticks or thinking like David and Goliath. That giant is not going to fall with no fairy tale stories. Those are fairy tale stories. The only way that that giant is going to fall is that when you come out of her, when you leave these people's stuff alone. You guys start doing researches. Start researching and see how all those businesses, these little small, not the small, like McDonald's and Burger King and all these corporations, I promise you guys, most of our dollars goes into those corporations. And now what they doing? They building up robots and AI and all this other stuff. And when they build those machines, I promise you, they won't have you in mind. They trying to build anything to get you out, to erase you. How long they been after you? They've been after you since the beginning. They've been after you since the beginning. You've been counted like sheep for the slaughter since the beginning. They've been trying to take you out, doing any and everything to replace you, which is why they are bringing immigrants, giving them houses, putting them in luxury hotels. They doing all that because they want you out. How long are you going to keep allowing these people to keep rocking you to sleep, guys? And come out of her. Uh, Visualize says, "Blessed Miss Lady B, Starbucks lover, Magic Mom. We just not angry enough yet, and it's time for us to be angry." And like I say, the King of Heaven suffered violence. We got to take it by force. But it's a way that you do it, guys. It's a way that you do it. Because, like I said, you don't control my dollars. You don't control where I spend my money. I spend my money where I want to spend it. But we have to start being self sufficient. We have to start doing things for ourselves, self sufficient. Start planting our own gardens, making our own clothes, start cooking. We don't even know what it is to cook now. Now we got DoorDash and got all kinds of places, that we can just call in and they bring food to your house. That's a trick of the enemy, guys, just to keep you spending. It's just a trick of the enemy to keep you spending. Start looking at those dollars going out and see how you still working from sun up to sundown and you wondering why your children don't respect you. Because what you are doing, guys, you are playing into this system. When are you going to wake up? I don't know about you guys, but I see it. He that have an ear, let him hear. It's a shame that we are deaf and dumb. I mean, we deaf and blind. We got eyes and we can't see. We got ears and we can't hear. What do you call that? What do you call that? Make it make sense, guys. And I had told you guys I was going to stay on for 30 minutes. But like I said, when the spirit is moving, you just got to move with the spirit. But you also, like I said, we got to be harmless as a dove and wise as a snake. We got to be wise as a snake, but harmless as a dove. Because this right here, this is what I call end time. These people are working overtime on us. They are working overtime on us. And all they trying to do is get the black man off of his throne. All they trying to do is get the black man out of the home. They been was doing that. They been was doing this. That's why I told you guys. I tell you guys all the time, stop helping these people to do their job. Because they know when they get the black man out of the house, then they're going to have a dysfunctional house. And that's what they want. The system is not messed up. The system is only doing what the system is designed to do. It's not messed up. You remove the man out the house, then you got a dysfunctional home. Then the woman, she's going to have to step up and be the man of the house. And that's what the system wants it to happen because 9 out of the 10, where the child going to be? The child going to end up in jail or somewhere else. Can't you see, guys, what's going on? I just don't understand. And that's why they put all that distraction, all the TV, the entertainment, the reality shows. They don't want you to see like this because they want you to be deaf and blind. What they call dumb. But they know if they leave us alone, they know we will put them to the run. They know that. So, guys, like I said, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. This is real talk, guys. And I have to move when the Spirit moves because I usually don't come on this time. But when I saw how these young guys have had enough, where they was coming together and saying, when you mess with one, you mess with all. But it's a way to go about it. It's a way to go about it. Because that way right there, it's not going to work. It never worked. It never worked. Sometimes you have to outthink them. And social media is the last place to sit there and call for that anyway. But even if you call them on social media, because that's where our people at. Sometimes you have to speak in a tongue where even it's going to confuse the enemy. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. But the only way that you can sit there and you can stop it, you can stop it today. Well, how are we going to stop it today? And we've been in this for over 400 years. Well, your time is up. According to what the good book says, your time is up. It's supposed to have been 400 years. It's time for you to come out of it. But how? I just told you how. Play the video back. Play the video back. Starbucks says, according to Representative Tim Scott from South Carolina, there isn't any racism in America. Of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say that. I would say that too. If it's not going to sit there and affect me, but keep money in my pocket. This is all about power, guys. It's all about power. All about power. And if you really understand what it means when someone say that they are racist, take the suffix off of racist, and what do you have? Race, which means that they love their race. When are we going to love our race? Ain't nothing wrong with races if you're going to love your race. It's just like a pianist. Take the surface ist out of pianist. It's just a piano. But when you put pianist, it means that that person have mastered playing a piano. Just like a scientist. Take the suffix off of scientist, and it's just a science. But when you add the ist, it means that they have mastered being a scientist. Just like racist, they have mastered being a racist because they love their race. When are we going to love each other? When is self-hate going to stop? When are we going to stop allowing these people to keep sitting there using us to hand our people over to them? Let these people do their own jobs. Let these people do their own jobs. Stop being the judge, the jury, and the executor. Oh, I want him out of my neighborhood. I want them out of my neighborhood. Well, you get your brother who you know out of your neighborhood, then they going to fly other jokers that never sat there and stepped foot on American soil and keep you at the bottom, keep you at what I call the state of Lodabar. Oh my God. Wake up. Some of this right here might just go clean over your heads. Some of you guys may just catch it maybe about tomorrow or might not never because we love dipping and dabbing in our own mess. We're not ready to come out of it because if we was ready to come out of it, then we would sit there and we would come together and say enough is enough. and we would start supporting our own community, start teaching our own kids. And you say, "Oh, how are we going to do that? We don't have the money." And that would really, really messes me up. It really pisses me off when they always wants to say that blacks are the poorest people. That really messes me up because we are not poor. I mean, when you turn on news, oh, blacks, we got to, get the poorest people, the blacks. How the heck we poor when we spend trillions of dollars a year on foolish stuff? Make it make sense. It's just that it's time for us to be good stewards. It's time for us to start being stewards, guys. We are wasting. We are wasting money. We are not leaving no legacies for our generations. When are we going to break these generational curses and come out of her? These are generational curses. When you cannot leave legacies down to your children, and we only own maybe about 1% of businesses the minute we came out of slavery, still exactly the same thing, 1% of businesses. And soon, in a minute, when we see one of our brothers get a step ahead, we dare to pull that person back. Make it make sense, guys. And like I said, didn't say, when it comes to this channel not for everybody. And I'm going to continue speaking the way that the Most High God lead me to uh, uh, have me to talk. I'm going to continue like this. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. I'm not shouting too loud because I don't want my throat to start hurting. But I'm here to sit there and tell it like it is, guys. It's time for us to shake off of these grave clothes and come out of her. And yes, there's a solution, guys. There is a solution. Because we have billionaires. We have billionaires, black billionaires. No way in the world that we should still be at the bottom of the totem pole. Like I say, it's time for us to wake up, guys. So I didn't think that I was going to stay on this long. I thought I was just going to come on and just stay on for 30 minutes. And after that, that was it. But looked like I'd have been here for a whole hour, 2 more minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and use this 2 minutes. So again, Starbucks lover, thank you for coming in. Mod Magic Mama, thank you for coming in. Visual Arise, thank you for coming in. Magic Mama says, I appreciate you, Real Talk. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. I thank you guys very, very much. It's not easy, especially when, trying to show your people, a different way, and come out of her because this is it, guys. It's just time for us to sit there and it's time for us to get back everything that I call the worms, the palmer worms, and the locusts and the caterpillars. It's time for us to sit there and reap back everything that belongs to us. It's harvest time. It is harvest time. And like I sit there and say, it's time for us to sit there and come out of her and get it back. So, guys, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I done said what I said. It is what it is, and I hope that it falls on good grounds. That you all be able to catch a hold upon this, because we already know that the devil out there to do three things, and that's to kill, steal, and destroy. But God came that we may have life and that we may have it more abundantly. And I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Where I'm ready to get everything that's rightfully belongs to me. And that's real talk. Starbucks lover says, great conversation. Lady D, enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. And thank you very much, guys. So on that note, you all have a good night. I'm going to go and take my shower and I'm going to bed. So guys, you all be blessed. And I pray in the name of Jesus that guys, y'all, everything that, God has given me to speak to you guys, I pray right now, guys, that it fall on good grounds, and I pray that we start opening up businesses because we need black businesses. We need to start supporting each other, and I promise you, their kingdom will fall. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. You all be blessed.